to protect your soul.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Yeah. Connect the dots straight to the start of intoxicating want. Lingering touch, these soft words whispered in the dark. Set my heart on fire.
Hello everybody, welcome to the SLE split number 3, round number 2. I am joined here by Sovanix.
Hello.
So, Sovanix,
Yes.
how are you doing, man?
I am fantastic, thank you very much. How are you doing?
Yeah, chillin', waiting for this game to be started. Reef Esports versus CCG Row.
Yep. Big game here. I think we have two names that competed last split, I believe. CCG Row. Well, they weren't under CCG Row. They were just under Curtain Call Gaming. And obviously Reef coming back with a star-studded roster, taking a bunch of players from Vitagen, taking Play Today from Lotus, and yeah, they'll be butting heads. I'm very interested to see how this goes. What are you expecting from this game?
Well, looking at the past match, CCG Row versus Altera Excelsior, we had CCG Row playing kind of dominant in that game with the first pentakill of the split.
Mm,
on the
I do
Jinx.
remember, yes. And interesting you say that because the last game coming out of Reef was quite dominant as well, and they were fielding substitutes during that game. So, I mean, you're gonna have two teams who showed strong performances in their previous games coming together and colliding. Now, do you have any particular matchup in mind as to what is good to watch here?
Well, I always love to enjoy the top lane hassles that's happening, especially with Gonhatsi, one of the fellow casters.
Mm,
And yeah, we also have Dutch in, what is he, jungle?
yep, he is playing jungle.
Yeah, he has also been a previous caster, so I'm
Hmm.
looking at those two, but also at Google Me and just Ryan. Like,
Yeah.
this is going
Uh,
to be a top favorite map, at least a match, if you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean.
think so. So, well, I mean, with that in mind, we can't count out the extremely strong bot lane from Reef with LMR and Flay today. Um, are they both going to be playing today?
Well, I am not certain right now, but it looks like Wei
Well,
is in the server.
okay. Potentially Webby will be playing. I mean, he played in the last game and he did pretty solid on the Karma, so um, I'm expecting another strong performance from the Reef bot lane. They were the standout lane from their last game. What do you think the CCG bot lane is gonna want to do against them?
Well, just like last game, they want a hyper carry on bot.
Hmm.
And possibly with an enchanter as well, because if you look at what they played last time, it was the Jinx Karma. So I think the
It
Karma
was,
is
yeah.
a really contested pick in this matchup.
Yeah, Karma's super big pick, and if we look at the way Karma has been played in competitive, you can get it flexed. It's a fantastic first pick on blue side, especially if you have a mid laner and top laner that can run the Ionian lady herself. What do you think of this meta so far? Like, are there any constant picks? We saw last split in the SLE. We had memes of SLE Trundle. We had memes of SLE. I think Sylvanix Azir was also part of this. What would you say are like currently so far in play-ins the standout champions in the league?
Um, we have the highest game presence of Nautilus.
Mm,
So Nautilus is one of the biggest support champs at the moment.
yeah.
But I
Oh,
just looked up some stats on the Karma.
yeah.
Karma has a 100% win rate in the split right now.
Wow. Wow. 100% win rate on the Karma.
Yeah, only two
Wow.
games though. But
Well, I mean, how many games have been played so far?
seven total.
7. I mean, uh, yeah, it's only 2 games. I guess it's not much to go off, but I mean, nonetheless, Karma, as we touched on, is definitely a strong pick to look out for. Um, but if we take a look at some of the counters to Karma, what if we do see a Karma, what do you expect some of these teams to respond with?
Ooh. Um. Yeah.
Because it is a tough one to pick counters for because it is just so strong and it's so safe and it does damage as well. So
Yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
yeah.
Lulu is always good.
Hmm.
And yeah, what is Karma's worst opponent? It is Hook Champ, Nautilus, Fresh.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
So yeah,
Good point.
and it also works with a hyper carry if you want.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And so, kind of moving away from specifically this game, have there been any individuals or teams so far in the play-ins that you have been impressed with?
Um, I am really impressed by Reef at the moment.
Yeah.
But the one I'm most impressed at is Linus from Black Manta.
Yeah. Has shown some fantastic games. I think actually, I mean, not just Linus, but the Black Manta roster itself. If anyone has not seen Mikis's articles, Black Manta have been rated pretty highly. I think he put them at 4 in the power rankings. This is above Runtime, who are SLE veterans at this point. So I think that speaks volumes as to how high they are being rated just based off the roster and not having seen any of their gameplay or a minimal amount of their gameplay for now.
But
Yeah.
I have some good news for the ones who want to see Linus in action again. They will be playing today
Oh, that will be on later. That is correct.
against Runtime.
Oh, that is a spicy game. I mean, I'm sure when it gets to it, we'll have a little chat about that one and how that's going to go. But, you know, in ahead of us right now, we have this game. Now, Reef. If you're looking at Reef, what do you say is their weak point? What would you say CCG Row are going to want to do if they're going to want to break down the Titans of the SLE?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult.
Yep.
But also one more fact. Due to Reef swapping the roster 2 hours before the game starts, they are losing 2 bands.
Oh, that is pretty big. Especially, I think, I mean, more specifically at this level of play, a lot of people will have smaller champion pools, but they will also have, you know, sort of this specialist tag towards them, and losing out bands like as you mentioned, you brought up the name Linus. I remember his Alawi against a certain Malphite, and it was just an example of a specialist champion that, you know, if you do have your full set of bans, would be good to ban out. Obviously, in the case of Reef, they will not, so unfortunately for them. But nonetheless, if you're Reef and you're put in this situation, what do you kind of do?
Yeah, I hope that your hypercarry can win the game.
If your hypercarry can win the game, and actually, on this Reef team, they are fully stacked with superstars. Who is the hypercarry for them?
Well, for Reef,
yeah,
good question, but I am going for Shipex.
Wow, that's the Holy Sheep, right?
I think so. Yes. Wait.
Interesting.
Am I correct with what I'm saying? Let me check.
The Holy Sheep.
No, never mind. It's not Shipex. It is indeed Holy Sheep.
The Holy Sheep. All right. Yeah. Interesting. I think last time Holy Sheep played, he was a Silas into a Yone, which is a very difficult matchup, and he showed a pretty strong performance there. So yeah. So far so good from the man in the mid lane for Reef. And you know, and so far in play-ins, you know, I feel like personally I can kind of already see not a gap, but you can see the drift between who's going to be in Division 1 and who's going to be in Division 2. Have you got any teams in mind that you know that are like sort of Division 2 level but can push into a Division 1 slot?
If you look at the ones who lost game number 1,
yep,
I think Eternal Blizzard and the remade Proxima Esports could be in Division 1. Last time I want to see more of them. And same with Dream Team Redemption, Altera Excelsior, and Theta Draconis, of course. I want to see more of them, but they all have one loss at the moment. While I think from the ones with a win is going to be struggling will be possibly Altera Astaroth, or even the Primordials.
Interesting. Yep. I'm actually in agreement with you. I was gonna kind of say a similar line of thought. But I mean, if we look ahead into this game, last game.
No, it's not Holy Sheep.
It's not the Holy Sheep? Wait.
It is me and 9 losers. That is his name.
I think that's him. Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's a sub. It's someone else. It's someone else. Yeah. Well, anyway. Nonetheless, I mean, Reef are a good team. We all know that. But yeah. So, excuse me.
Versus Gucci Gaming. What will they do?
Versus Reef against Gucci. Listen, Reef have a stronger team. within their organization, and we comfortably took them out. So I'm very confident against Reef. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean the thing is with our new team, and especially with a bunch of other new teams coming in, I don't really know what to expect. I think I myself, I haven't been playing too much, or not as much as I need to be in order
We're
to
in pick
keep
and
the.
ban right now.
Oh, we're in pick and ban. But yeah, no, I was saying I think yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we do against Reef, and I'm excited for the game. But we are in picks and bans. Now, last game, CCG Row drafted this team comp where it literally revolved around Shipex. It was a hyper carry with a bunch of utility and facilitation around him. And it'll be interesting to see if they do something similar, because I believe the right way to go. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Darius ban first.
First is the first lost ban.
Yep.
From Reef.
All right, I want your prediction. What is going to be the first pick on blue side?
You can't ask me for a prediction because I already know.
Oh. Right. I will do the prediction for the first pick on blue side. Give me a clue.
We have seen him last split as well.
Trundle.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the Trundle first pick. Right, interesting. So I believe you see what CCG have done. They've banned out Poppy. I think they banned out the Darius as a
looks like they're not
target ban.
To me, that sadly.
Yeah. And okay, so one thing I've seen on the side of Reef is that we do not have the full lineup. We have Dutch and I believe Konazi as the only registered players, I believe, and the rest are fill-ins or subs. Yep. So, hey, if you're CCG, you're going to be looking at that and using that to your advantage. And as I said, we're going to have some sort of protect the ADC composition as Azeri gets locked in alongside an Ornn and Lulu. On the other side here, we have Graves. I'm guessing that's for jungle, and Jinx Blitzcrank. I personally am not too big of a fan of Graves. I think Dash is a lot better on champions that, do not have to take the responsibility of the carry. I do think he's better on things like the Trundle, things like Jarvan and whatnot. So, yeah, but he's locked in the Graves. I believe Graves is always a confidence pick. You pick this if you know that you're going to pop off, especially for an R1, and they pick Jinx Blitzcrank, which is interesting because Blitzcrank does not provide too much protection for a Jinx, but it's great. It's actually, I really like Blitzcrank into things like Zeri, Ornn, and Lily. You can sort of like split the Enchanter away from the carry.
Yeah.
Hooking the Zeri is going to be a difficult one due to move speed, but yeah.
Well, Webby is really good at predicting. That is something I already know.
Yep.
But his main target will be the Lulu.
The main target will be the Lulu, and if you do actually hook the Lulu, it is huge, it is massive. But yeah, we see the second rotation bans coming through, which is going to be Kale Ilawi on blue side, and then the Victor on the red side. Now, interesting is to go for the Orianna R4. After banning Victor, Orianna is usually is good matchup into Victor. So, yep. But nonetheless, as you can see, CCG Row going back to what they used to win. You have this facilitating team comp plus a hyper carry in that Zeri. If anyone saw what Upset did for Fnatic over the weekend, you know what this champion could do. You know what this champion was capable of. Now, if we look at the Reef team composition, you have, I don't want to say it's bad, but it's definitely on the harder side of things to execute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, your only front line essentially is a Blitzcrank. Of course, Gwen has the immune system, but yeah, there's not much protection. You have two marksmen and an Orianna, and Blitzcrank's not really a tank. Gwen isn't a tank either. But yeah, Gwen is a good matchup into Ornn. Graves, actually, I really like Graves into Trundle. Trundle was picked into Graves actually, but Graves is a great jungle matchup for into Trundle. But as I said, I just find Dash as a player is a lot more useful for his team when he's not on these carries. So I have
completely agree with you.
I have been joined by my favorite human being on the planet. It is Savage Mikis, my boy, my homie, my home slice. Now, you've just stepped in. Nice squeaky chair. Thank you, Seiji. IKEA, by the way, sponsor the stream and get me a new chair. So, yeah, Mikis, looking at the draft, what are your initial thoughts so far?
With my 20-second analysis, I do think. Oh, there's a lot of belief by Curtain Call Gaming's Raw team in their Zeri to deal all of the damage really for their team. Maybe Trundle. If this was last season's draft, then Trundle would definitely go for more offensive items. As our Gucci Gaming's jungler, in that time Broxa. Not Broxa from Fnatic. That would be not the lowest to play in SLE. Anyways, he would build much more offensive build, but we'll see if this team comp goes into like mid to late game and Zeri plays it perfectly. There's absolutely no way of catching her, and with all the shields and heals she will get from their double enchanters and ornaments helping out with the damage, it could be one of those Zeri moments. Other than that, Reef definitely having more ways to win, more engage, more like playmaking possibilities with Blitzcrank, with Graves being an absolute menace, farming up and being a massive carry on his own. And love to see the SLE Jinx returning, of course. Highest pick and ban percentage in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very excited for this matchup. I wish I will see Reef getting punished, not punished, but challenged in this matchup, because last week's matchup wasn't the most competitive, and we know a lot of these players, and I'm definitely very excited to see them perform.
Yeah, I definitely in agreement with you. I think, as we said on the analyst test before you joined, we have two teams here that show dominant performances in their first round of games. Coming in here, we've got two teams that, they're both expected to do well here, but it's going to be a much, much more highly contested matchup. And, I honestly think, looking at the two drafts, if we take the names away, I am in favor of blue side very, very heavily. I just think it's just so much easier to execute. Last week, ShipX got that pentakill, first pentakill of Split 3 in the SLE. He's going to be riding on a ton of confidence. He's going to be riding on that mindset of, yo, team, get on my back. I got this. Last week, I'm going to do it again this week. And yeah, I mean, if you're Reef, you have to respect that, and you have to keep your eyes out for this star 80 carry on the rise.
Star 80 carry indeed, as we have multiple highly ranked AD carries. At least I personally rank them quite highly, and they have had very memorable performances in this round one. Introduce me a bit with these Reef players. I see there are some substitutes coming in. Is the Orion player a new player for Reef, or did he just name change?
I do not know who this guy is. It seems like Reef are bringing in new players every week, but nonetheless, I mean, this is not the full Reef lineup, as we all know, which hurts obviously their chances to win the game. We don't know how much practice they have together, but nonetheless, respect to them for turning up with whatever they could field out. However much better or worse they are is yet to be seen. But for now, we will have the game start now. What do we expect in the early game?
I would always expect a level 1 Blitzcrank invade, but looks like CCG is already expecting it, stacking up in the bot side, but Reef Gaming is going to be invading through top side, contrary to CCG's plans. Looks like we're not going to get a level 1 fight, even with the Blitzcrank. The Reef still checks out the brushes and finally decides to abandon the plan. But look at this. Dutch is gonna look to steal the blue buff and start the game with a little bit of an information advantage.
Yeah, I mean, this will get spotted out as the top laner, Josh Ryan, will start pathing towards top side here. Of course, if... I mean, it will get spotted out, actually, and that will... Oh, no!
He's walking into it, just try and face checking this, but CCG knowing, sniffing out this play by Dutch,
they got
and
the ward, isn't it?
Google Me is getting, is gonna get this blue buff and gonna get this faster start with the pool and everything, but it's not gonna hurt Graves' wave clear too much. Still, a little bit of jungle speed advantage gonna help Trundle to nullify this natural advantage that Graves has in this matchup, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this was a very, very nice play from CCG to all kind of walk towards that top side together. We saw the Seraphine go as well, so you can kind of assume that it was sniffed out. They said in the comms, I believe they're here. They're not invading our bot side with a Blitzcrank. They must be doing some shenanigans on the top side. They spotted that out, punished it. Dutch is going to be slightly delayed, but as you said, I don't think it should affect him too much.
Reef is gonna hit level 2 first. Cook is gonna land on a little forces flash, knock up as well. They are going for this kill. Heal goes away as well, but they will not secure this first blood. All summoners blown almost by CCG squad as they get out with their lives. But this is definitely going to be advantage for Reef, as Blitzcrank still has this Hex Flash, arguably better summoner than Flash itself.
Yeah, great play by Reef bot lane. They hit the level 2 first, and a fantastic hook onto the Lulu. As we said, Blitzcrank's target will not be the Zeri, it will be the Lulu. The Pinchy's going to have to look out for that. But, off the back of that trade, you have a very low HP and MP resource Jinx, going to be forced to recall. And, yeah, I think the wave is actually going to be shoved in as well. I don't know what we can do about this. Now, let's talk about this jungle matchup here. As we see Graves already pulling behind. He's going to get this bot crab here, but are we expecting some early dragon fights with these team comps?
I would assume so, maybe followed by, but here is Dutch ready to punish this push by CCG. Lulu has no flash. This is gonna be first blood secured by the ex-cigarette man himself, Mr. Graves.
Oh, there's a cross-map play as well here.
Cross-map play by Google Me. Nazi is gonna try to go for the kill under the turret, not gonna do anything. Graves, not Graves, but Orns goes away with his life, and trades all over the map. That's what we expect from these both highly rated teams.
Yeah, I really like what Google Me just did. He saw his bot lane getting punished for the overextension, instantly identifies that top wave is good for a gank position. Konatsi was either looking for a solo kill or a shove into the tower, punishes that. I think Konatsi was dead, he knew that, didn't blow any summoners, and it's 1-for-1, but if we look at where the kills have been allocated, 1 kill onto Ornn, which, to be honest, he is basically a carry, and the other kill onto Graves. Now, with Graves being behind from the early game shenanigans, this is going to help Dutch in the long run, and he's now got double longsword and move speed boots. Trundle yet to pull off a recall and a reset. I actually do want to talk about that overextension from the CCG bot lane. I think their attempt was to get the wave shoved in, completely understandable. Unfortunately for this Lulu, no summoners, so great punish by Dutch. What a spicy game so far. Two strong teams here, and they're both showing their colors. Who would you give the edge to in late game?
In late game, as I said before, Reef has more carry possibilities, and if Blitzcrank hits somehow this Zeri, of course, it can spell doom for CCG's damage, but overall we see Webby in mid lane as he is gonna Hex Flash over the wall, knock up this Seraphine, land a hook. No, Seraphine shield lets her survive. Not sure what happened there. Seemed like a certified kill, but Jumpman what? And that's a kill in bot lane.
That's a kill?
One gang fails, one gang succeeds. CCG on the board, on the lead.
Yeah. Oh, Google Me is really impressing me. These playing games. He's identified every single time so far this game. We've seen something happen on one lane. He does something instantly on another lane, as we see here. Sees Blitzcrank roam into mid lane. That spells danger for a Jinx. You're all alone. Gets punished for that. Pinchy is in a bit of a situation here.
Pinchy looking to be engaged down by Reef, but no, nothing's gonna come from it. Blitzcrank decides to save Flash for this time, forces Flash from Pinchy, and he will need to play defensive again. Very, very punishable again for the Lulu. Yeah, but I wanted to return to the thing we discussed about in the late game. I've seen so many times that these like death ball comps that I feel like CCG has drafted just run over these teams. Many kind of teams that don't have that much of an identity, and I feel like the team that Reef has drafted here has lots of ways to get ahead, lots of carry potential. But once the CCG activates this 5v5, I definitely give them the edge.
Yep. Oh, big trade onto the top lane.
Yeah, Ornn ruling his ward. Gonna ult. Gwen is immune, but not gonna be immune in there.
Oh,
Ornn almost goes for a solo kill. Konatsi escapes with his life, and the Dutch is gonna be here trying to pick up something, but this Ornn is just too tanky, and the minion wave is there as well. Dutch is only level 5. Just Ryan's gonna go in for a kill. Not gonna be able to secure it as he runs out of mana, but he just bullies out 2 players in a row out of his lane.
I just want to point out, Just Ryan is a gold 4 top laner, and he just bullied out 2 of SLE's strongest individual players and said, screw you guys, I do not care what your name is or who you are. Almost solo killing Konatsi in a bad matchup, and that's going to allow CCG to grab this dragon. I have to admit, you know, Reef are the favorites, one of the favorites for the tournament. And you know, we're definitely favorites coming into this game, but right now I am liking what I'm seeing from CCG, and especially with the team comp on their side, it's looking good.
Yeah, and critically they also secured this first strike of the game. As I would say, they are the more of the scaling team, but these early plays really carrying early plays from Google Me really carrying CCG and Just Ryan. Remember, we said that the gold went for the Ornn. Maybe not that known for Ornn's carry abilities through damage, but Just Ryan getting most out of it, as he is gonna get engaged down by 3 Reef members. Blitzcrank knocks him up. Looks like Just Ryan is gonna be killed here as Gwen Konatsi picks up the kill. Nice round by Weeby on Blitzcrank. Is gonna secure Reef something back here.
Yeah, Weby's been all over the map so far. As you said, Google Me has been able to do things whenever Weby's out of lane, but this time was not in a position to do so. We'll take away some of Josh's camps here as he's on the blue buff, but overall, great play by Reef to punish the flashless Ornn.
And the Seraphine is gonna go for a kill here as well. Channels her ult, misses it as Gwen quite swiftly sidesteps it. But yeah, both junglers actually trading plays, trading back and forward. This Google Me is really challenging this last season's MVP in Dutch in this early game dominance.
Yeah, and I mean, even still, Dutch is putting in a decent performance so far. I think both junglers showing that, you know, they are good players. As the Call of the Forge Guard comes in,
Ornn channeling Call of the Forge Guard, forcing Done Deal to flash, and Oriana will be forced to play much more safer for 5 minutes. And Jean Mansu is gonna challenge this jungle camp. Tries to force out Dutch from his own jungle, not gonna succeed too much, but yeah, just putting Dutch a little bit on the brakes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one interesting thing to point out here is if we look at the sort of CS difference between both the Zeri and the Jinx, it is quite big at the current moment in time. This is in addition with the kill. I think you know, whether or not this builds into something more significant later on, we will have to see. Both are great, fantastic late game champions. I think this Zeri is going to have more tools to be a hyper carry in her team comp. This Jinx is going to find it difficult. There's basically no protection for her, as Webby is going for another roam.
Another one of these mid ganks, flash rocket grab, and he's not gonna hit since this Jumpman Su is gonna flash it and dodges it effectively. This Seraphine pick is, I would say it's becoming a Jumpman Su special. I've been seeing him play it a lot in this league, in some other leagues. I'm quite surprised that it went through the whole draft. Also, just trying on Ornn. Last game we played against, what was it? I think one of the Astaroth teams. And look at this. Dutch is here, gonna channel the Rift Herald and gonna try to secure a little bit of these platings. Do you think this turret is gonna go down?
Well, I guess there's a TP, so emphasis on the defending of First Blood Tower. I think though, I do like that TP as bot lane.
Zeri going for a Zeri moment, bullies out them from the lane, not gonna secure a kill, but is gonna secure even bigger farm lead and more plates, as Reef's bot lane is forced to recall.
Yeah, I think this Zeri will end up getting out of control sometime soon as there's a fight on top.
Gwen is gonna go for solo kill, or knocks up Gwen. Gwen channels Ghost, is gonna go for the
trade.
Yeah, that's it's gonna be a trade kill. You're not gonna be immune out for that, Mr. Gwen. And another trade. These trades, I personally feel like is going CCG's side. I feel like CCG outscale and is fine with trading equally, because they are kind of winning the bot side. So trades, while not going down in the bot side, is huge.
Yeah, I mean, of course, kill onto Gwen is always better than a kill onto an Ornn, but as you mentioned with the CCG bot lane currently outclassing the Reef bot lane, well, I don't want to say Reef bot lane because Webby's sort of been roaming around the map, not really in the lane phase, so it's sort of expected in a situation like this when you leave a Jinx alone to, you know, sort of 1v2 the lane phase. Lulu's not really going to roam around, so understandably so there is a bit of a lead differential in the bot lane, as this is going to be the second dragon going over to CCG. Now if you're Reef here, yes, you're making plays, yes, Webby's, you know, forcing flashes on cooldown, but not much has been gotten off of it. Like there's been play through the Gwen, who's probably likely going to get First Blood Tower, a lot of gold into her, but yeah, objectives, I mean, they got the Rift Herald, but objectives and gold for the CCG bot side is definitely looking healthy. Webby's caught out here, actually.
Yeah, and Webby's caught out, Zeri's caught out as well, but Zeri gonna secure one kill, gonna be flashed on by Dutch. Dutch secures a kill. This Trundle is absolutely massive. Seraphine ult goes just a little bit short, and Google Me is gonna try to get out. Jinx has no ult, so they should be safe. Lulu just runs out of the zap range, and it's gonna be a trade. Or is it? Yes, it was a trade 1-for-1. Blitzcrank died at the beginning of the fight, but crucially, the Zeri died, and the Dutch picked up a shutdown. Big gold influx for great.
Are we seeing the regular season Dutch as, you know, he's 2-0-1. He is, you know, sort of even on farm with a Trundle, which is, yeah, I think if you're a Graves, you kind of don't want that. But nonetheless, he's picked up 2 kills. Yeah, interesting fight, 1-for-1 in the end. I think Zeri not as strong as, you know, we see Zeri moments. Zeri's strength is. That will most likely happen later on in the game, but for now it will be a 1-for-1. I think if you are Reef, you will happily take that. I think I don't know if they're behind overall, but wait, actually, yeah, yeah. So they're not behind overall, but I think in general, when you are a team comp, like when you have Graves, Gwen, it's fine to take trades. The only risk, of course, is if Gwen starts getting out of hand, then these trades become irrelevant later down the line when the sort of gold lead is not so significant in comparison to the time of the game. But yeah, for now, I think these trades, if you're Reef, you will happily take them. As Konatsu here looking for another kill, this time,
Gwen getting out of hand sooner than we expected, and Kanatsi scores a solo kill, finally turning this matchup around. I would also say, the matchup is not that much Gwen favored at the very early game, since Ornn has incredible base damages, but Gwen has definitely scaled now and is slowly becoming a problem.
Yep. With that, Gwen. So I mean, honestly, I think Gwen is probably one of the scary factors if you're CCG. Probably the one player on Reef's lineup that you do not want to be fed. The one thing that can actually deal with the front line of CCG. So definitely good from Kanatsi to bounce back. It was looking rough as as you said, Ornn's base damage fantastic. There could be a fight here as Dutch is walking in.
And the rest of the squad are here. Dutch is gonna be stuck in 1v4. He's gonna be absolutely annihilated here by 4. CCG members, CCG is making these plays back. I'm so impressed by this team. This is the best I've ever seen CCG look out of any CCG works team.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly think I'm surprised. Oh no.
Getting caught, kind of get caught in herself. Dash is in Blitzcrank, and Blitzcrank just says, "Sure, man, I'm gonna hook you if you want it." And it's gonna be a shutdown for, I think Blitzcrank got the kill. Yeah, a little bit of a mistake by Zeri. Will need to eliminate those if he plans to keep up the carry performance. Little bit, not what he intended there to do, I think.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake from the Zeri, but it happens. I think that, I mean, multiple events here actually that could change the course of the game. First of all, Dutch, kind of the two carriers of both sides. Well, I mean, Gwen's fed, but before that, two carriers of both sides overstepping their welcome, getting caught out. I definitely think. I don't even know who favors off the back of that, because it's 2 shutdowns. 1 shutdown went to Seraphine, which is not ideal. The gold has now gone to 3K, so I mean I'm gonna take a bold guess and say that a lot of that has come from Kanatsi's rise into this matchup. Not rise, well, as in I'm talking about his comeback. As in Google me.
Google me is gonna find Kanatsi here, as Reef is here to challenge the 3rd Drake of the game. Rocket grab is gonna be dodged by Google me, but Reef still persistent to take this fight. Seraphine is gonna ult in the backline, gonna hit only Jinx, as this Gwen is an absolute menace. Not CCG not able to deal with her so far. And Dragon's Soul point is going to be denied by Reef, as they finally asked this Gwen to go in. But look at this, Shipex is gonna go for a flashing kill on Oriana, but not gonna secure it. Shieldball gets procced, not enough mobility in the whole world for you to survive that one. And from bad to worse, Call of the Forge God is gonna be channeled. Blinking health bars for Reef, but nobody dies, and it's gonna be a clean ace. No, I think someone survived, but from bad for worse for CCG, as Reef dominating this Drake fight.
Yeah, that was very, very messy. A lot of stuff happening. I think if you're CCG, you take a quick minute to take a deep breath and say, listen, look at our team comp, let's play to its strengths. And the thing with Protect the ADC team comps, right? Your ADC isn't there, you can't do anything. Their ADC wasn't there, they tried to go for something, and they got punished for it. And then their ADC showed up, but at that point, the rest of the team weren't ready, and it was an out-of-sync sort of system. As much as team comps like this are quite straightforward to execute, as soon as you get it wrong, it's a massive power hole that you have. So Reef, fantastic in identifying that, and as you said in the middle of that team fight, this Gwen is a absolute menace right now. 6 and 2, 550 gold shutdown. He's got 2 items, probably yet to reset and buy some more, but I think if we look at some of the sort of micro mechanics in that fight, it was essentially Gwen snipping everyone really hard, and that was it. So I think, yeah, fantastic performance from him.
He might be caught out here as he has no flash. 4 members again from CCG, as this becoming to a little bit of a deja vu for me, as another Reef player finds himself at the wrong side of the neighborhood again.
Wrong side of the neighborhood indeed. Google Me is in a position to do something here.
Oh, it's gonna look for more. This Jinx does have a flash, but yeah, Gloomy going for the pillar engage, but Jinx is gonna walk out with the Orion speed up. Maybe he pulled the trigger a little bit earlier, this could have worked. Maybe it would have only blown Jinx's flash, but yeah, not enough juice for that play from CCG, as Seraphine is gonna go for this old Charms dodge, but he dashes out of it. CCG trying to make these plays. What I would like to see from them is being a little bit more patient. Yes, punish your opponents when you can, but this late game team fighting, in my opinion, really goes your way much more than it is for Reef. And yeah, you can just calm down a little bit, let the Zeri farm, as VB is gonna go for another engage, forces Google Me to flash, and yeah, trades back and forward.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening, a ton of stuff happening. And first of all, Webby gets caught. I think he was just looking for some vision. And then you had some weird attempt onto the Jinx, who had both summoners. I think the pathing was suboptimal, and Jinx was able to get away. And then there was a full attempt onto Dutch, managed to dash out in time to be in range for anything lethal. And yeah, trade of spells meant that Reef are able to push CCG out of this Baron control, and they currently have full control over this top side of the map. And with a Gwen, 6-kill Gwen on the bot side, you can assume they have control over that side of the map as well. And if you're CCG, it's about getting Zeri to her item spike. I believe the next item she gets will be massive, and when she does, that is your green light to start pushing these fights. But for now, Reef have control.
Yeah, agree. Interesting game one. A little bit of a struggle for CCG. When it's gonna be a fight, they're gonna go all in for Google Me. And yes, Trundle might be tanky, but this is the more damageable build.
Wait,
Jinx
Zeri?
finds herself at the front line, gets killed by Zeri, and little bit of an overstep by Reef's Gaming's AD carry, who was playing mid lane, I think, in last game. Gets too excited, really plays up for Jinx's passive, gets killed for it.
Yeah, as we said, when fights elongate like this, it does benefit the Zeri, as there's a TP flash in.
Flash on Zeri, hooks it well. Little ult's gonna come into play, not gonna be enough. Ult advantage for Reef Gaming. One more kill, 2 more kills. Gwen is going absolutely rapid, triple kill for Gwen. If Gwen is there, I'm not sure if CCG can fight currently.
Yeah, I think this Gwen is just far too strong at this point. It's gonna be tough for CCG to do anything really in this situation. I think we saw the Jinx overstep, but then the thing with protecting ADC comms, it's so reliant on one player in your team, and this is a lot of weight on the shoulder of Shipex, and full respect to him for taking on the responsibility, but you get this situation where it's like, I believe he got exhausted instantly and just popped, and yeah, wasn't good enough. But
Jinx is gonna find herself in a trouble, or is she? Google Me is here. Gonna put out a defensive pillar, but Seraphine ult is gonna land. Jinx finds herself yet another moment of getting caught, but remember, Jinx is not the main carry for this Reef squad. As long as this Gwen is here, I feel like they still have advantages, even 5v4. They are gonna pick this fight. Gwen is flanking. Gwen is now in the middle of the fight on the Zeri. It's gonna be a 1v3. Gwen is massive. Gwen is huge. Orion helps out with finishing it, and yes, Gwen is absolute menace, and it's gonna be another Drake for this Reef squad.
Wow, yeah, well, we said on the analysis, Kanatsi is one player to look out for. There was one particular moment in the lane phase that looked dicey, but wow, is he being the main carry for his team right now? When we look at the scores across the board, everyone on Reef is, they're not doing bad, but there's no stand-up performers. You take a look at Kanatsi here, he really is showing up this game. CCG, they've put on a solid performance so far, but you can't help but to admit that maybe this game is slipping away from their fingers. And there's only so much one player can do, and Shipex is, he's one man, he's just a human being. And this seems like maybe too big of a feat for a man of, I mean, albeit his caliber, but yeah, difficult nonetheless. It's just Ryan is caught out as well.
Just Ryan is gonna be tempted to kill by this Reef squad. He makes a creative flash and looks to be getting out of here.
Oh no.
There's no running away from this Gwen. Gwen secures another kill. Gwen is not targetable, or whatever was the word. Gwen is huge. Gwen has a 700 gold shutdown, 12 kills, star performance, and statement performance by Kanatsi as he has arrived to SLE.
Yeah, big statement. I think there were a few question marks about Kanatsi in Reef. He was the unknown alongside well, as I said, this isn't their full lineup, but the top and mid were players that did not compete last split, and they were coming in. Not much information about them. Well,
Rookies.
Rookies. There you go. Well, you have your information now. This guy is clearly a bit of a monstrosity, and yeah, really showing up. Great performance from him. 12, 2 and 2. I think ever since that solo kill that he got onto Just Ryan, he hasn't looked like he's taken his foot off the pedal. He's been crazy. He's been a tank and an assassin in one. I don't know what can deal with him at this moment in time. But I think if you are CCG, you're going to look to try and stall this game out for as long as possible. You have situations here where you have Gwen on the side lane, no TP. Just try and flip a fight. Like, the game is looking rough anyway. You could end up picking up a few things. The rest of the Reef members aren't as strong as Kanatsi, so that is your angle of exposure. But if Kanatsi's there, there's really not much you can do. Yeah, so he's gonna push on for this bot tower. Probably the inhib as well.
Menace. Nobody can do anything about this. This Seraphim can only watch. They're gonna try to, and I believe this is the right play to do. Otherwise, they're just bleeding out. But this Gwen is still fast. They're gonna abandon the play.
Oh my!
Gwen is gonna challenge them in a 1v3. Kills one, goes for the second, gets exhausted. This might be the moment that could do something about it. Too much mobility, too much damage, too much tankiness in Kanatsi. Is absolutely tearing CCG apart. Meanwhile, on the other side, 4 members on Reef is pushing down these turrets. Dutch Dash is in his. He's confident with that he has no threats so far.
Oh, hang on.
CCG is gonna go for it. Zeri is very mobile. Zeri moment, is it? Maybe not enough yet. Not upset yet for you, Shipex. Very well. You're playing very well, my brother, ADC brother, but Gwen is too much. Reef is too much. They are having, I think, more than a 10,000 gold lead by now, and they are able to secure this second game. Beautiful play. Gwen has arrived. Yep. Reef has arrived.
I think the big thing here to take note of is they took the hard team composition to execute, and they took it to CCG. We said CCG. They did a copy and paste essentially of what worked last time, and why would you not? And they had a dominating performance last time around, but this time they come up against the Titans of Reef, and it was not the same story. I mean, especially to note, Reef is not even their full strength. This is not their main lineup. This is not their registered team, and they're putting in performances like this. I mean, one thing to note is, I said at the start, I personally don't like Dutch on champions that are carries. Well, has he proven me wrong here? Because he picked up the Graves, had a rough start in the early game, and then bounced back and performed really well. But obviously, the man in the spotlight is Kanatsi himself. 31k damage on the Gwen, 8 KDA. What a performance from this absolute monstrosity.
Yeah, great performance by Reef. It was quite close at the beginning. CCG positively surprised me, surely, but as we see in this post-game lobby, look at the damage by Gwen. Monster performance, and exactly what we talked about in the other side as well, as Zeri is the only real damage source, a second being Warden himself. Always surprises me how much damage Odin is capable to dish out. But yeah, we will have an interview with Dutch, the regular season Dutch himself, and the MVP. I would, for me, the MVP of game 2, opening game of round 2, Konatsi.
Hello, people. Welcome. Congratulations.
Hello.
Congratulations on the win now, Mr. Konatsi and Mr. Dutch. I first want to ask, there was this one situation in the top lane where you both almost got solo killed consecutively by this Ornn. What was it, in your guys' opinion, that sort of turned the wheels and put you guys in a position to stomp this game?
I choose to forget that those events. No, I'm joking. I mean, it's just Ornn damage. I misplayed, and then Dutch was trying to hold the wave for me because I told him to hold the wave because I'm TPing back, and he almost got one-shotted as well, which was interesting.
I was fine.
All calculated.
The things I do for my team, Dutch?
Yeah.
Well, it was a great performance, and I said on the stream that these are two teams coming in from the first round of play-ins that both dominated their opponents. What did you think of CCG coming into this game?
I mean, essentially looking at the players, they were like one of the better rosters, right? And we had like some ADC out the field. We had a mid lane emergency substitute, so we were like, oh no, this is going to be a disaster with how much we have to shuffle around. Yep. But in the end, we just look at our own strengths. We said we play through top side, jungle top, and then we know we're like we're like better than them in those positions.
Yeah.
Try to win the game from that side.
Yeah, we try to respect their bot lane and then play through our rank differences, basically.
Yeah. And of course, actually, sort of more topical question with what happened. You briefly mentioned that you had to do some last-minute replacements. This is not the first time we've seen it in the SLE, where there are some last-minute roster swaps and a team loses bans. What are your like mindsets as soon as you're told we're going to lose some bans and we're going to be playing with players that we don't usually play with?
I mean, we shifted pretty quickly on it. We had a big fight before we joined the voice call on who's going where.
Okay.
But I mean, not the big fight. It was just discussion, and we figured out that the best call would be to just basically play like almost as our main role, everybody, and then we just put our fills where they can play. And it was just unlucky because our mid laner said he can't show up like 1 hour before due to his personal reasons.
Okay. Well, at least you're getting good experience playing with a bunch of people, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, they're part of our community, so we know how to play with them, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Mikus, have you got any questions for our winners here?
Yeah, Konatsi, can we expect you to step up in these high-pressure moments when your team is struggling with roster, when you're in playoffs, moments like that? Can you say that you're a clutch player? Can we see more of this, Gwen, in playoffs where some of the members have struggled?
I wouldn't say I'm a clutch player. I would say I'm an all-around player. I can play weak side. I can play strong side. And people fall into the trap that I'm only a weak side player. So most people know me as that. And that's where we hit them with the Gwen, with anything really like Darius, Kayle, Ilaoi. I'm putting up my picks there if you want to ban them. And we show them that I'm not only an AWP player. I can play strong side and dominate the lane.
You definitely proved that here. And Dutch, is this the return of regular season Dutch, or is this just a C split 3 Dutch?
This is the new Dutch. Just that's not going to turn playoffs, So we're going to keep this line steady and true.
I surely do hope so. Does Dutch join us for this next game?
I do indeed.
Well, for those of you who missed, it was announced earlier there are 2 games today. It is Black Manta against Runtime coming up next. Thank you guys for the interview. Congratulations. I believe we'll be going to a quick break. Small break before Dutch and Dreadpool takes over the analyst desk for the following game.
Thanks for joining, Kanati.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you
joining,
very
guys.
much. Bye, guys.
Right over to Jesus.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SLE split number 3, round number 2. Welcome to game number 2, Black Manta versus Runtime. This time I'm joined by Dutch. Welcome.
Hello, 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 everyone. From the game to the cast, real quick.
Yeah, impressive game, last game, but now a completely different game.
I'm hyped. I'm interested. The game of the week, so you know it's sure to be a banger.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like, what do you think will happen in this game?
I don't know. I haven't watched the old games. I'm currently watching their results, both kind of decisive wins, because of course they're about 1-0, so winner versus winner. We have Runtime we know a little bit more about because they're kind of veterans of the league at this point. Strong jungler, decent solo lanes, decent bot lane, but mostly the jungler is their main focus, their best player, and I expect to have a lot of attention drawn to that one and play around that one. And from BLM, I haven't really seen that much from them because only one game, new team, but it sure looks good from their side as well.
Yeah, last time from Runtime, Lunam picked
Yeah,
up
the 12 kills.
picked up the 12-1 kills. Yeah, he had an impressive match last time against Redemption.
True. I played my Graves myself, or scores as well today, so let's see if it gets a ban this time. I mean, it looks like a good Graves player. It went top, of course, out of jungle, so that makes a bit difference, but it seems like something could be bannable.
Yeah, and also on the side of Black Manta, you had Ignore, aka Linus, in the top lane, who last game just completely popped off.
The dominating on the Ilaoi, on the Tentacle Girl. Yeah, it's a hard champion to deal with in isolation, so unless you have a clear straight plan how you want to deal with her, put her against another split pusher, unless you do it like that. We saw in split 2 that the Trundle was paired in these kind of champs a lot top lane, you know, the SLE Trundle, very famous for it. I see maybe a problem for Runtime as well if they don't have a clear plan how they want to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, also, what champion do you think is going to be picked most? Or
In this game, you mean?
Yeah. What champion will they prio pick?
Prio pick. If you look at the meta, of course, SLE has their own meta, but if you look at meta, so like Diana is strong. The Talia has a lot of prio as well. Maybe the Zillion, also a very good pick. The Ari, still high prio. Draven. Now, it's really depending on what these kinds of teams, because of course it's not pro play because pro play have their own meta, but it really depends on what these teams prio for themselves, what they value. So it's gonna be fun to see how they draft, because drafting in this kind of games is always a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. And do you think Vector will be banned again?
Vex?
Victor.
Oh, Victor. My bad. I understood you. Victor, yeah, super safe, mid lane, you can blind it. It's been banned in both of their games, actually, I see. It could be, yeah. It's a strong champion. Like I said, you can just blind pick it if you're blue side. It has some prio, so maybe we see the second rotation ban on the Victor. I don't expect to be banned first rotation, but I do maybe see it second rotation.
Well, let me tell you, 5 out of 8 games Victor has been banned. He's never been picked.
Oh wow, that's a high statistic.
It's insane. Like, he has 62.5% ban rate over all games.
Man, SLE has his own things, right? his own meta. I mean, yeah, true. A good Victor is absolutely annoying to deal with. A lot of range, burst damage, wave clear. He can do it all. So, but maybe we see the first Victor picked up here instead of banned.
Yeah, I wish.
You're a big Victor fanboy.
But guess who has the most game presence at the moment?
Trundle.
No.
Not even, wow.
No, Trundle is at 50%. 4 out of 8 games.
Maybe you're Zeri then?
No, Zeri is even lower.
I mean, Zeri's OP, right? So,
It is the Jinx. With
Jinx, wow,
6
Jinx.
out of 8 games.
Stuck in last split, I guess.
Yeah, Jinx is top notch at the moment.
Well, Jinx also a very nice champion. I mean, last game we saw Jinx with Blitzcrank, not really a normal pregnancy because normally you want to play around your Jinx instead of away from your Jinx with Blitzcrank. But you know, maybe a strong Jinx lane, Jinx Lulu, something like that. You could see that maybe as well. Play hard for a bot lane, try to win like that. I can see it.
Yeah. Jinx. Or Victor. One of them we will see. I hope.
I hope you wanna get the percentages up, my man.
As yeah, I wonder. It's just bringing me back to last split. Trundle Volibear. Only Trundle Volibear. Every day, all day. I loved it.
You do. I mean, I don't know where we are with the draft. Do we do draft or do the casters do draft? By the way, I can't remember.
Casters take draft.
Casters take draft. Okay. We are currently waiting for a couple players left to sell. So you watched both games in the first round play, and which of these two teams seemed more impressive, more on their game in their game?
Well, Black Manta was just absolutely dominating that game, especially with Ilawi on the top lane. But Runtime was kind of impressive as well, to be honest.
Okay,
So,
okay, yeah, we have to see. I mean, Runtime, of course, plays together a long time. SLE veterans, the only team to ever knock out a Div 1 team as a Div 2 team. So maybe they're not that bad into the underdog position.
Yeah, exactly. And we are just moments away of jumping into draft, so I'm gonna toss it up to the casters. If they are ready. Are you guys ready?
Hello.
Yes.
Right. Then I will cast it to Savonix and Savage Mikus.
Thank you, Dread. Thank you, Dutch, for great analysis. Yes, this is match of the week. It is a Runtime against Black Manta, Italy against Germany, and two very Chad top laners going up against each other. Linus against Aster.
Yeah, this is the top lane matchup to watch. You know, we have Aster got a pentakill in playoffs last split. Something I wish I could do. Oh wait, no, I got one. Sorry, I forgot.
You did. Anyway, you did. What a pentakill.
Anyway, and then we have Linus, who put in a workshop on that Alawi last week.
I think he would have gotten a pentakill if 5 players would have gone for him.
I think 5 players did go for him. They just quickly realized whilst fighting him that this was a bad idea, so they all ran away. But had they all tried to continue to fight him, yeah, definitely would have been a pentakill. So yeah, interesting you called that out. This is a very exciting top lane to watch. I think I watched both of the games, and I think the BLM game, we saw a lot of Linus, not so much of everyone else. In terms of the Runtime game, we saw them play against Redemption, and that was, evidently a fantastic team performance. So just based off that, and just based off what we've seen of them, how do you see these two teams matching up?
Yeah, I do rate them quite evenly. The draft is already we can see. I do rate them quite evenly. I do think the German squad here is a little bit stronger, and we already see some target bans based on last week's performances. Graves is an excellent pick for Runtime.
Yep.
Because they can, I think, even triple flex it in top, mid, and jungle, as well as this Talia pick. We know that Vion Kolaski is also mid lane main, also playing support. I think when the Runtime has a full roster, that's another pick band. And this we're not gonna see Linus on Ilawi as first pick Diana, the famous Sunfire build most likely. What do you think about this first pick so far?
First pick Diana. I mean, Diana is one of the stronger jungle champions to come out in the meta at the current moment. What is interesting is the Trundle pick into the Diana. I believe Diana. I mean, of course, if Diana goes the tank build, then the Trundle pick does make sense. But in a traditional sense, it is not the common pick. But yeah, the Victor early, that is common as a control mage pick if you want to save your other picks for later. As we see a Twitch Seraphine being answered. Oh.
Yeah, so however, with Diana, it could be a thing.
Yeah.
Could be playing. That would spell a little bit different draft by Black Manta, but they're gonna choose to go for this Renata. Oh, and excellent. I love this. I love Brown pick into this Twitch and Renata. Absolute hard counter. I feel like if Brown places his shield correctly, he can nullify this combo completely.
Yeah, I think Braum here is such a fantastic pick, even against the Diana, to be honest. And it's like, I feel like see, this is what you get when you are a established team with a lot of playing history together, and you know what you're doing. You know, that Braum pick looks like it was an instant like reaction to what BLM were picking, and the fact that they could execute that pick in the middle of a drafting phase. Props to Runtime for doing that. You know, they say, look at that, this Braum is perfect here. It literally nullifies not 100% of the damage currently. I'm exaggerating, but so yeah, they go for the Braum pick, and it's an R4 Samira.
I do like Samira. When Samira was released, I had a duo partner, but we went almost to diamond with as I played the Braum and he played the Samira. That was many patches and many nerfs ago. This time, I still like the Samira, as in 3 picks currently. I feel like it's a great pick, but there's a lot of champions that could counter, and this I feel like is. Shout out to you, Adrian.
Okay, well, I love that. I actually think so. Going back to this Braum pick, I saw a hover between Veigar and Azir, and you know, Veigar into Braum is not great. And so I'm so happy that they locked in the Azir here. Azir's fantastic, such a good pick. There's not a champion on the red side currently, like even Aatrox, that Azir does not do well into. And I even really like the set. I mean, personally, so you talk about the Samira. I'm not too big of a fan of the Samira here. I think they could have gone for something a bit heavier damage, a bit more reliability. I think Samira is one of those champions where it's like it relies a lot on player skill and execution of the champion within the game. In this case, it's gonna be tough. You have a lot of CC to interrupt your ult. I think like Diana ult set can just ult you away, Azir can push you away. But you know, timing of your W is important here. So Stap will be one to look out for in these team fights to see if he can play this well. I think had they gone for something a bit more standard, possibly especially for ADC pick, maybe like I don't know, Caitlyn, Jinx, whatever, just a regular ADC pick, I would be a bit more. I would definitely lean towards the Runtime draft here, but because of that and the Azir and set picks, you know, set into the Trundle is really good for the reason of Trundle ults the tankiest person on the team. Set increases ult damage because if you ult a tanky person into the enemy team, that increases the damage dealt. So, but I think if you look at the set Aatrox matchup, well, actually I don't know too much about that matchup, but yeah, nonetheless, I like both drafts. I think if it wasn't for the Samira, as I said, I would lean towards Runtime, but for now, I'm sort of split in the middle, probably leaning towards the draft with an Azir for very obvious reasons. But who would you say has got the draft?
I will agree with you. Black Manta seems to have a little, maybe even stolen this draft with this Azir pick, as I do have grown to love a good Azir playing with you every now and then. But yeah, that Brown pick, excellent. Maybe Trundle doesn't really have anything to ult that much in this opposing team. Then again, Diana these days is a tank, so who knows. I was expecting something a little bit more creative from Asta in this top line to counter the set, as I have grown to see him pick some very unorthodox champions. But Aatrox is also an exciting champion. We're gonna see some blood in this top lane. Other than that, yeah, Samira pick.
Yep.
I really look forward to it. How is it gonna perform? Will it run cleanse to cleanse the exhaust, which most likely at least one of the some botliners for Black Manta is gonna run. Also, Stap, a very exciting rookie coming in SLE. Not only coming in, starting to play in SLE, but also I think I don't want to jinx it, of course, but he might be going pro in Valorant, as I've heard, as he is like a high-tier challenger player there. So yeah, exciting. This match of the really week really speaks up for itself, and enough about the draft. But to finish the draft, equal skill, like we talked in the analyst desk. Equal skill. Which draft wins?
Equal skill.
Yes.
I'll be honest.
Putting 5 bots against each other.
5 bots. I am gonna have to go with the red side draft. I just think this Braum nullifies a lot of. Actually, I don't even know. Yeah, no, I will go with red side. The Braum just nullifies a lot of what Twitch and Renato want to do. Of course, you know, I say here, I really do wish that Samira was a different pick. You know, as you said, it is exciting to see how the Samira is going to be executed. But you know, just based off what I know of Samira, especially at this level of gameplay, it is tough to play. Yeah, I mean, nonetheless, I'm excited to see how this goes. I believe the late game team fights will be really interesting to watch. I don't think there's.
You see that SKT Azir looking back angrily? I think he was smiling before he said that his team has a worse draft.
Oh my god.
You never expected you to trade the bird, betray the bird, but you're not playing it, so famous Pentakill Azir is gonna need to wait for the regular season of SLE, where I hope you're gonna get it at least once to see, to show the world the beauty. But we will see Azir in this game as Kivishi is gonna pilot it, and we will see how Black Manta looks on famous SLE champion.
Yeah. So, by the way, if BLM win, that guy is coming in for an interview, no matter what, no questions asked. But interesting is this guy? Is this Linus? This is Linus, right?
Yeah, that's Linus in top lane.
Oh, okay, sorry, just getting confused. No, as we said, the hype matchup is Asta against Linus here. Now we have Aatrox against Set. Now these aren't two super hypey champions, but they're not boring champions either. It's not an Ornn Sion, it's not an Ornn Malka or whatever. Well, I mean, who do you think is gonna? I see a solo kill happening in this lane. What about you?
There's gonna be a solo kill.
There's gonna be a solo. Now who's gonna come out on top?
For me, I want to be loyal to my boy Asta, but the Ilaoi still gives me tentacle nightmares or dream. No, never mind. Yeah, I'm leaning a little bit towards this set with Linus, but I'm not sure. It really depends on matchup. Me as a bot liner, I don't follow what's happening in top that much. Not an expert on that matchup, but yeah, I'm really impressed by Linus so far, and gonna be exciting to see him matching up against someone who is not a field top, but established name in SLE.
Yeah, and you know, staying on that sort of note, Linus put in a terrifying performance on Malawi. But also last week, Lunam. Oh wait,
look
Ripper?
at this.
No. So actually, that's fantastic positioning for a 5-point cover. A lot of people sit in the bush. When you sit in the bush, you don't actually get vision of when people are walking into the river. But if you stand just on the edge of that river area, you can see people enter. So great positioning there from Ripper on the 5-point. But yeah, no, I was saying Lunam last week. Also himself put in an absolutely terrifying performance, and he's up against he's up against Azir here, and you know, this traditionally is a skill matchup. Now I say that with a grain of salt because they're two scaling mages that don't do anything in the early game, so it's a skill matchup with not much skill being exerted until certain points in the game, but. Yeah, I'm excited for Lunam. He is someone who I have kept my eyes on. I'm actually interested to play him because I think he is going to be one of the stronger players from the mid lane position, in my opinion, so far. So, yeah.
This is a beautiful chance we have here, as I have you exactly casting this game with me. Maybe we can put in some little bit of coaching session as well. Tell me all about this matchup. How would you play it early game, as it?
Yeah. So if I'm Azir here, you're going to be looking to try and use your range. So first mistake that, how do you say his name? Whatever. First mistake he made is he gave up level 2 first. You need to force that level 2 first. Put the soldiers down. Your soldiers do more damage than Victor auto attacks. He didn't do that. Didn't get level 2 first. Victor's able to step up. He's got first strike. Get the damage off. Fortunately, Azir did not get the level 2 and he got punished for it. And at that point, when you lose out on level 2 in this particular matchup, it becomes more difficult. This is where Victor can walk up, utilize the Q shield, and you don't really trade much damage back. And if you're a Victor if you're a Azir in this current moment where the Victor sort of has the advantage, your goal is to play for the next recall and try reset the lane and try get your advantage back after the lane has been reset. So yeah.
Yeah. Also, what would you tell me about the Keystone selection in this matchup?
Keystone,
couldn't Azir could have gone for the same thing that Victor has.
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely. I really despise Conqueror on. Oh wait, hold on a minute, Linus.
Will there be a solo kill already?
Oh, someone's left the game. But
is it a visual bug or is it not? It's not. We're gonna get an SLE pause and yeah, more.
Fanatic pause. Thank you very much.
Fanatic pause, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Conqueror on Azir. I think it's. Oh, I believe this is a bug when there is a pause. But
let's look at this position as it is in. He looks very angrily lifting his hand.
What is going on?
Channeling a soldier from the ground. What is this skin? Can we zoom in? Never mind. We're back in the game.
We're back in the game, right? Okay. As I said. Oh wait a minute. There is a gank here.
Vion is gonna be looking to secure first blood. He doesn't have a blue buff. Azir has flash and dash here, as he's gonna be forced to use the dash. Will it be flash? Yes, it will. But
Wow,
Vion goes for this and secures the first blood with the bloodthirsty pillar.
Great play from Vion. Honestly, that was so patient, so well executed. Waited for the flash and then followed with flash. I think it can be very greedy to flash first because it often means that the following flash is going to be more effective. But yep. Vion, fantastic. My boyfriend. Oh, sorry, because you weren't supposed to hear that. Yeah. Going back to your point with first strike on Azir, yeah, I think it's much better here. As you can see, Conqueror doesn't really provide much help for you in the lane. The lane is where you are at your weakest on Azir, so you need anything that can help you. You're not going to really stack this much, and the enemy team currently only has like. I mean, you're a tank killer anyway without Conqueror, so yeah. But we'll have to see. As interesting moments in the mid lane. So Victor's gonna pull ahead really well here. He's gonna be one step closer. Oh, actually, there's the gank at top lane.
Maybe going for gank. Maybe he's gonna commit, but decides not to. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it was very impressive movement by maybe to dodge out on the sweet spots. As you can see here, I think Lunim is very much outlaning. Oh, wait a minute.
Stuff forces Linus to call for his jungler again. Maybe to push out the lane, but no, it's pushing towards.
As we said, this is the matchup to watch, and there's a Drake started up, but Dyna's still hanging around topside. Flashes were blown actually.
Even sets flash. We did not see that on camera, I think, but I'm still impressed by these season split 3 SLE teams. Play happening on the one side of the map, immediate answer on the other side of the map. Beautiful baseline macro. Love to see this, and Vion is gonna secure first Drake of the game, first blood of the game, and now first Drake of the game. Runtime looking strong.
Yeah, I actually want to point out something. Oh wait, how let me stop there as there's a fight.
Yeah, this
Oh,
Braum's
no,
passive
there's no
concussive blows is gonna land, gonna force them to back out. But yeah, what were you about to say?
You know, I was gonna say, for those of you who don't know, Runtime's original jungler, Aaron, one of their star players actually, is unavailable, and Vion is filling in the jungle position, and I need to compliment him for his play both last week and currently right now we're seeing. For someone who's autofilled, he's playing like someone who's been playing the role for a very long time, and I think, you know, going back to my point of this is the benefit for long experienced players. There's another fight top.
This might be the moment. This might be the solo kill. Seth's gonna land his very own sweet spot when the Drew deals the true damage on Asta, but
Every time
impressive.
we've Vion, very impressive, but I mean, every time we've panned over to this top lane matchup, there's some crazy fighting happening. This is the matchup of the week. We have two powerhouse laners going at it. Yeah, back to Vion. I think we've seen many times people having to shift around positions, and I think this is one of the strongest I've seen a player have to autofill a role in playing a competitive game, or games, should I say, as more fighting in top lane.
More fighting in top lane, as predicted in analysis, articles and everything, and Asta's gonna pick up this massive wave. I feel like, Linus finishes channeling his recall, and yeah, Asta picking up this wave and finishing this top first 8 minutes of the game equally, dead equal.
Yeah, dead equal. That's crazy. Well, neck and neck, those two are. There is a serrated dirk from Aatrox. Interesting. I don't know what that's going to go into. But, yep. Going. I'm not sure. It could go. I don't know where he's going to go. But anyway, going back to this mid lane matchup that I so love talking about. It's sort of evened out. I expected, like, you see Lunam recalling with a chunk of HP gone. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, it's sort of been equalized here. So good job by Chiwisky, right? That's what his name is. Chiwisky.
Yeah, I guess Chiwisky. I said before Chiwisky.
Chiwisky. All right, well done by Chewy to bring back the deficit and. Yeah, I mean, I think that, like I said, this is one of those matchups where the champions are so similar that at any point in which you reset the lane, there are always windows to sort of bring it back. Victor picked up a massive wave, didn't shove it in time, so he's slightly ahead, but it's not negligible enough to say that, you know, he is winning the lane. But yep, Herald being started up here by Maybe. So you have a dragon over to Runtime, which means, you know, not.
Oh, is he gonna do it?
Oh, he doesn't have smite.
Yeah, it's gonna abandon the play.
Wait,
here.
Lunam
is here. Gonna do the Shurima shuffle. Lunam saves up his flash. He doesn't have flash, as his Braum is here to save him. Braum secures his team another kill. Who even got the Herald? Oh, Diana got the Herald, but they're gonna give up 2 kills for that as Runtime is here to punish. I did not expect them to punish that.
Yeah, well, once again, we see the coercion and the sort of great teamwork from Runtime coming out here. As they answer this, they saw the Herald, they made an instant response, they went there. I think the play onto Lunam was way too long and it looked very discombobulated. I feel like, you know, the top jungle of BLM wanted to finish the objective, whereas Chiwishi, he was set on getting the kill onto the Victor. But unfortunately, it did mean maybe died as well? Oh no.
Looks like he's gonna go for more than just a little bit of poke and forces Chiwishi to dash out of it.
Yeah, I like the way Lunam's playing this lane very much. But yeah, no, as I said, also the set ult, not the most useful when it's not on top of enemies, and it was just only on Victor. No follow-up meant that he was isolated against, you know, the enemy team over the wall. But, you know, we see Runtime now in a good position for the rest of the game, and I suspect they will look for a second dragon.
More fighting in top line. Conqueror procced by Astra as he's gonna go for a solo kill. Does not last. Last one of his, I think it's Qs, does not land as Linus gets out of there. Yep, Runtime keeps stacking up the dragon. Ooh,
Yeah.
goes for a steal and it goes so closely as it's Samira who secures it with an auto attack.
Yeah. I don't know. Astra giving Linus a bit of a reality check, saying, "Welcome to the SLE. Now you're playing against the big dogs." As he almost grabs a solo kill, you can see this matchup is now pulling towards Astra's favor. But if you, I mean, but if you look on the other side of the map, onto the bot lane, which we haven't really been looking at too much this game, you have one hyper carry against one sort of oh wait, hang on.
It's gonna be the Rift Herald summoned here, and yeah, looks like Runtime is abandoning this play, letting the first blood turret go down as there is no HP left on Braum to contest this. But yeah, Black Manta, of course, answering this, fighting back as we expect them to do. This very, very well-established, experienced German team as Lunam looks like he went for a solo kill, shows a BMM mode.
Wow.
He's dominating this mid-lane matchup. Lunam keeps impressing me with his mid-lane play.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's playing really, really well. I'm even tempted to say he's one of the strongest mid laners coming into the SLE. So yeah, Runtime looking solid. Their laners are looking strong.
Very strong.
Yeah, I think if you're BLM here, in regards to the game, you're gonna want to slow it down. Tell yourself, Twitch Azir outscales Victor Samira. Just take a chill pill, slow it down. You are behind right now. You see your entire top side, both one death each. But you have a Twitch here who is holding well against an aggressive ADC. Samira Braum, you know, they can cause havoc in bot lanes. They can get 2v2 kills, but Twitch Renata has helped out, and they do outscale. So that is your sort of mindset / win condition. As we see here,
Braum trying to hold up the wave for his top laner. I'm gonna be forced to abandon that plan, but look at this. Twitch is forced to, not wasn't Twitch, Renata forced to, but look at this. Yeah, this is what I talked about. Twitch, both of them using their ults, both of them going into Braum's shield as Black Manta's tools are completely negated. Still, some ults traded back and forward. They don't lose any members, but this is just a little bit of a preview what we talked about at draft analysis time. And Lunam solo kills Linus. Welcome to SLE indeed. Runtime engaging on these flashless members of Black Manta. Stab goes for a hero play, gets his shield bow procced, doesn't kill anyone, and Asta flash last Qs.
Twitch is here.
Elrat here, and Azir very late to the party.
Oh my god! Yeah, very late
to the party. Everyone's already finished their drinks. Everyone's already went to sleep. He just comes in to eats an old slice of pizza, and looks like he's gonna be forced to go back to his mid lane.
Oh my god. Okay, what a sentence. Yeah, Azir, yeah, as you said, late to the party. But understandably so, I guess. If you are looking at this from BLM, they did overstay. I think the Runtime members were hanging around there for a very long time, yet at no point did the BLM guys say, maybe we should run away from this 4 versus 3 scenario. We don't see Azir moving up, let's back off. They overstay and they get slightly punished for that. And on top of that, you get Set getting solo killed on the bot side. As you said, welcome to the SLE. Showed up big time last game, but now you're up against much heavier hitters. And maybe possibly Linus getting a bit of a reality check here. But we'll see if he can... Oh, wait a minute. Azir's getting kills off camera?
What happened? Azir found I don't even know what would be the party reference for
It
now.
seems
Party
like
is
this,
over.
the old slice of pizza had the juiciest, tenderest pepperoni slice you can imagine as he picks up the kill. Samira.
Yeah, Azir just there, just in time, as this Samir didn't have flash, didn't have exhaust left after the hero play he went for, and it's gonna be first.
Welcome back to the SLE Linus. Oh, never mind.
This pause running so good for Black Manta. As after the pause, they come in hot, secure 3 kills for one couple. I think it was it was one shutdown as well. They're right back at it. Gold is even.
Yep. Well, just like that, the game is back in kilter, and it's almost as if like first you see BLM overstaying, Runtime then starts overstaying themselves. So I didn't see what happened with Stat, but yes, late to the party, but at the party nonetheless. As Chiwishi picks himself up a few kills for his team, and gold is evened out. Victor, I mean, I won't lie, I feel like Lunam is about to complete a full item here, or at least is about to buy a cash in big. He is very far ahead on
1,000 gold lead, yeah.
1,000 gold lead. He laned absolutely impeccably, and Chiwishi is gonna, kind of trying to look around the map to see what he can pick up to get back into the game. He is by no means weak. He has Landry's and shoes, but there is a fight in mid lane.
Runtime looking for another fight again. Look at this brown shield being there, but looks like they won this one. Renata is still gonna go down as this. I doubt this Aatrox is dying anytime soon. Lunam is flanking here. Reaper is a little bit of a trouble as he's gonna be able to sneak out of this fight. 1-for-1 at the end. I would say, Lunam overstepping, Azir ulting him away. Nothing more is gonna come out of this, but no, the Drake is still up. Both teams are in positions to contest it. Runtime doesn't have their jungler, so I doubt they will start it. Look at this, Twitch, sneaky. Not gonna, decides not gonna flank around as he doesn't have an ult, doesn't have summoner spells. I would say this fight is favored for Runtime by the looks of it. Braum uses his shield quite early. That might spell an opening for Black Manta. Both teams are doing a little bit of dancing here.
Just resetting.
Yep.
TP.
Finally, he's gonna reset. Runtime is still around. Runtime does not understand, does not see what we see, of course, and finally are gonna go for this Drake. It's gonna be the third Drake of the game for Runtime as they will be able to secure this soul point. Runtime eventually wins out this fight.
Yep. Maybe there is a steal.
Maybe he will.
Oh,
and
no,
maybe he does not. We asked, maybe no is the answer. He might, well, he has his death time, he might rename to BLM. No, but look at this top lane fighting. This matchup of the week has been so accurate. Top lane has been going back and forward this whole...
they're getting collapsed on here.
They are 4v2 here.
Wait!
Luna.
How did Twitch get out?
I don't know. I didn't see. Twitch went in invis, and apparently I didn't even see him anymore from a spectator side. Yeah, this brown pick. I'm gonna keep repeating. I'm gonna keep loving it. Field so many of these Renato ults. I think every single one so far. Linus oversteps as well. Concussive blows are gonna land on his Azir, but he still has ult sap again at the exact same place. Oversteps again, no.
Yeah, it just seems like Runtime are making the right plays, but they're biting off way more than they can chew. And at this rate, we can see big red flag if you're Runtime here. The kills are going over to the hyper carries of BLM. This is not what you want. Yes, you're picking up kills, but you're picking up kills on Set and Renata, which, currently they're just decreasing in value when you kill them. Now, the big heavy hitters, they're the ones picking up the kills. We see Stap going melee range into an Azir when there's a tower right behind you. This is not what you want to do. You should, sort of, I guess, play it safe until Azir uses the ult. Up until then you can kind of jump in. But yeah, mistakes here from Runtime, very evident, but nonetheless, I do believe BLM, the carries, they are playing this well. I think big shout out to Ripper. I genuinely do think I have absolutely no clue how he made it out of this. I don't know if he walked into the bush as Lunan walked out of the bush whilst in invis. But yeah, it seemed weird. On my screen, it looked like he just walked right past it. But yeah, it's very sneaky from Ripper. And as you said, the Braum is a fantastic negate. Well, actually, I'm going to stop myself as Fiona's here.
Vion here. Linus can instantly flash the pillar, the pyramid of ice channeled by Vion. Yeah, absolutely agree with you. Reaper has been playing these fights so patiently. Really need to acknowledge the bright side so far in this BLM early game as this Twitch is huge.
Linus.
They're gonna dive this set. He has no flash before, overstepped again. Runtime is there to punish it. Beautiful play by this top lane duo, as they have made multiple great plays.
Yep, you
Asta
have.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, you have kills and assists sort of, in correlation with each other, which, kind of suggests fantastic top jungle play, as you said. You have to look at Linus here and oh, actually, wait, I'm looking at this bot lane here, and there's some...
But Elrat is gonna be engaged upon Vion is big here. Both of the shielding spells are gonna go in. Twitch and... Oh, but Lunam is out! Lunam is out!
He's out? Or is he?
He used 2 dashes, the Azir ult and the flash for himself there and got out of it.
Yep. Very, very, very good angle for Lunam to find his way out of there. It looks like a bit of a Mission Impossible escape. But he's out nonetheless. Yeah, Linus, I think he... of course, when you come off the results of last game, you're going to come in full confidence. But you do need to respect the individuals on this Runtime lineup, and it just seems like Linus has overextended on multiple occasions. Nonetheless, he has been playing... What I just watched? He has been playing some of these team fights well. But yeah, definitely a few mistakes here and there, which... he is a set, so he will always be useful. I think, especially if he can find a good ultimate, he can make a good impact in team fights. But yeah, looking over at his lane opponent here, Asta, he is 5-1-2 right now. Yeah, he's gonna be tough to deal with. Of course, on BLM, you do have the tools to deal with an Aatrox. It's just,
not on the sideline, I feel like.
Not on the sideline. Yeah.
Oh, and look at this. It's gonna be a TP. Where is he teleporting to? He's gonna just teleport to the Tribush as it's gonna be a soul.
Oh.
And they find an engage on the jungler in Vion. Yeah, this is the moment where Runtime plays. It looks like they're gonna play it smart and abandon, but look at this. Linam is fighting Linus. Oh, Lunam is fighting. It's gonna kill Linus yet again. Linus dying again in that spell death, but it's not gonna be enough to save his mid laner. It's gonna be enough to go away himself. Meanwhile, at top, Asta is pushing. Asta has been farming. He's getting stronger and stronger. Definitely correct play by Black Manta to not match this fairly and go for the play quickly. Oh, Asta is here, but this is an Eclipse Aatrox. Eclipse Aatrox deals so much damage to his own Samira, but he's gonna secure the kill nevertheless.
Yeah.
Elrat dying for the 5th time. He's way too squishy to be playing to forward this game. Constantly gets punished. Gonna need to play a little bit more careful as this draft is not giving him any favors. He's in a very difficult position.
Multiple things to talk about here. I think, firstly, Linus, wow, what a creative teleport. Running into the alcove to teleport on a flank, and, kind of creating a play where they can catch the Trundle and secure themselves a dragon, which stops the soul point. Fantastic play from them. But then on the other side, when they match the Aatrox, you need, wow, this Aatrox, as you said, Eclipse Aatrox. This guy touches you, you probably die. Had that been someone else but Renata on the flank, possibly I could have seen an angle where they win that. But unfortunately, Renata is very, very squishy, made of tofu at this point, and yeah. But I really like what Linus did there. Very creative play. He even, you know, on the back end of that dragon play, went onto the Victor and traded his life for it, which is exactly what you need to be doing here. If you're behind on set, you need to sort of be like I'm going to make plays. I'll probably die whilst I make the plays, but just as long as the gold goes onto my team, everything will be all right. So, yeah, I really like that. But Runtime, looking at this Baron.
And they're gonna deal a lot of damage to this Baron. This is Divine Thunder. Oh, and look at this.
Wait,
maybe on the Diana is gonna pick out Lunam, but Twitch answers with his own ult. Twitch
Linus
it all over the place. Linus is huge. Azir is finally coming in, but so far it's a 3 for 3. Asta can turn this. I feel like
I see Asta getting a pentakill here.
He's still gonna fight. As long as he has good cooldowns, he's ready to fight. As Black Manta does not have any healing reduction in their team. Such a close fight. Maybe getting the jump on the Luna, but lots of damage going back and forward. It ends with 2 for 2.
I mean, I need to point out the Azir was not there, and I have to admit, if the Azir was there, I see an ace on the horizon, and I think shout out to Linus. He played that fight impeccably well. He caught 3 with his E, which allowed Ripper to just open up and do massive damage. And if you're Runtime, you know, you need to be careful. If you're Lunam, you know, he has been stepping up and positioning aggressively in these fights. Now the alarm bell's ringing. You need to sort of keep that in mind now. As I said, if Azir was there, that was most likely going to be an ace. You know, even when he arrived, you could see Runtime was like, okay, now we need to start running. We do not win this anymore. So yeah, you know, as we saw, it was a trade. It was a, you know, albeit a more fed Diana getting traded for Victor, but the fight was looking rough. The HP bars on Runtime were much lower. After Azir had arrived onto the scene with the teleport, and so yeah, the late game hyper carries of Runtime. I mean, in that fight, it was mainly just Twitch getting the setup from his team, which is, as you can see, is proving to be very, very scary. And you know, once again, I want to touch on the Samira. It's so hard to play in this game. It's really hard to find an angle where you can kind of jump in and do the Samira thing, but I believe Stat can find a way, but yeah, definitely very difficult.
Whenever I see a Samira, or the rare time I play a Samira, I feel like the easiest way and the easiest comps to play Samira in is when opponent has one low damage like dedicated tank, because you can like stack up your ultimate bar on the tank, and they then go engage in the fight with your ultimate active. This Black Manta team, I feel like, have no tank that just goes in. And look at this, Asta is gonna channel his very own ult. It's gonna run out. Black Manta needs to wait for it here.
Watch Twishy.
Twitch. Oh he's gonna go for the flash. Azir ult. It's gonna be dodged by Runtime members. This is huge. This is huge. No flash, no ult for Azir. Twitch still having his flash and his ult up, as well as critically. Renata did not pull the trigger on his her very own ult.
Wow. Yep.
Another dragon.
Asta, no.
Asta is caught out. He's gonna dodge out of the Renata ult. Massive 4-man ult by Diana, as she's gonna die for it. No. No, they're not ready to follow up this. Ripper is kiting. Ripper is kiting. Stop goes massive. Stop. Stop with the triple kill. Fight won by Runtime, as they can secure the Dragon Soul as well.
Wow, what a crazy fight. She saw the moment he saw Shurima returning back as the best. It is the best. No. Anyway, he saw Shurima rising, but I think it was a little bit impatient on him. He didn't wait for any summoners to be blown. But it was good to force the flash from Victor. Now, unfortunately, for BLM. That fight was looking good, but Stats said not today as he did the Samira moment. As I said, it's hard to play. You're going to have to wait for the tools to go down. What did he just do? He waited for those tools to go down, and he had the free entry to blow up the members of BLM. Now, if you're BLM, though, you have to sort of just kind of be like, listen, we're not on full power spikes yet, and that fight was very close. Few more moments, few more minutes into this game. Yes, you lost the sort of Cloud Drake, but it doesn't give you any direct combat stats. Few more moments and that fight could have looked very, very different. You just need a few more items, a bit more gold on your hyper carriers, and yeah. But Runtime gonna look to try and use what they have to close this game up before their carries really hit the full build. As they put their attention to this Baron.
Quickly pulls the trigger on this Baron again. Black Manta is here to challenge. Gonna force out the Braum Shield. This can be huge for CCG.
Oh, Ripper!
Oh, Ripper goes in too deep. Does not survive. Maybe gonna go down as well. Linus goes in third. I'll get as well alone. Nobody dies in Runtime's side, and they are gonna pick up this Baron. A little bit of an overstep by the rat. Brady knows exactly how it felt in that play and goes for the hero play. Saw what Stapp did in the last fight. Knew that critically Braum's shield wasn't up, but steps in, as I said before, in the Runtime's neighborhood. Everybody's speaking Italian here and gets instantly popped by these members.
Yeah, Ripper brought pineapple pizza to the party and the Runtime members disagreed with him. Yeah, no, Ripper, bit of a mispositioning there. You have to feel you have to feel for him there. I think he was looking for the big open up the rat IRL moment, but it was a bit too close to the threats that can blow him up, and he didn't get much protection from his team. I think if you are BLM here, you kind of want to fight on sort of like a cohesive term. I think that fight there, we saw one go in, one after the other, and then it was sort of this messy situation where you lost your Twitch, and I think they were trying their best to make the most out of it. They didn't want to just handshake the Baron over, and in hindsight probably was the right thing to do, but in the end they lose more than they had wanted, and they're going to have to do their best to defend again.
They will try to do their best. They still have the tools. They have the Azir ult. Azir is gonna have his flash up quite soon. Twitch is very close to level 16, critically, I think dealing more damage and more range with his ultimate. Black Manta have the tools to win these fights. They will, but they have to execute these fights very well. No, none of the carries need space. The carries need to use their range very effectively to win it, and meanwhile Runtime is looking to split them apart as they are stronger, I believe, in skirmishes, 2v2, 1v1, and use this Baron buff.
Yep, Baron buff is huge here, as I believe this mid tower is going to fall down, and this bot tower taking half HP. We're actually just going to go for the inhib, undefended. They're leaving that open.
Getting pulled apart is Black Manta. Runtime, the last Split Division 2 champions, going for another kill on Linus.
Oh,
he's gonna be killed here. It's gonna be 5v4 now, and with activated Aatrox ulti, I don't feel like Black Manta can fight. But what else can they do? Their base is gonna be selected. 3-man ult by Azir is not gonna be enough, or is it? Stapp dies. All of the Runtime is dying. Asta is the only one surviving as he goes for a flash turkey on Azir. Gonna look to finish the game now. Secures one turret kill. Secures nothing more as he gets secured by Reaper. This shutdown gets ripped apart, and will it be an ace? Looks like it won't be an ace as Luna walks out. Little bit an overstep for Runtime again, but finally we're waiting for massive team fight from Azir and beautiful ult by why was that wall so big?
Yeah, I mean, usually people use the Emperor's Divide. Chiwishi said, "No, I'm going to use the Great Wall of China here." As he catches two people both on the edge of each side of the Azero, and yeah, no, what a play! I had to take a minute there to freshen up the downstairs when I saw that, but yeah, no, absolutely perfect play from Chiwishi. Actually, managing to get out as well. So. There is this Elder Drake. You can't help but feel this is do or die as he catches Braum.
But Braum gets out of it critically. He's using his flash, but more importantly, he does not have ult for this big flash. Wait, it's a teleport in the base. They're going for the base rush. Runtime is going for the base and they're gonna finish it. This is backdoor. This game is gonna and Runtime defends their SLE name and their reputation with a beautiful, what a match of the week we had here. So good.
Yo, can we get another one? No. Wow, what a game. I mean, I think if you're a BLM here, you were kind of put in a position where it's like we either give them Elder and they win, or we take Elder and they win through the base. So I think at that point it was a bit too little, too late, and yeah, it was one or the other. So, but nonetheless, what a game! I think great showing in multiple scenarios from both teams. I think, from a personal perspective, it was great to watch both these mid laners. I think they both had fantastic moments. I think Lunum did amazing in the lane phase, and Chiwishi I thought had actually better team fighting than Lunum. So, you can see both strengths of both mid laners, which was fantastic to watch. And yeah, I think in general that was a great game, really really entertaining, back and forth. Who is your MVP, Megas?
Multiple beautiful performances in both sides of the Rift, but we usually pick an MVP in the winner's side. Amazing. I feel like the most valuable pick, not player, was this Braum. This Braum was huge. He did so much damage and playmaking neglect on the Runtime side. Vion played early game beautifully, but I have to give MVP to my boy Asta the Messiah. He defended his top line pride and went toe to toe with Linus, and I'm really looking forward for these two to rematch. But so far, Asta has the advantage in this top line matchup.
Yeah, fantastic to watch that top lane matchup. They were fighting constantly, and it was only a split sort of gap between the two. It wasn't big, but it's just I think when Asta did pull ahead, he pulled ahead big time. So yeah, nonetheless, I believe we do have an interview with the main man himself. Oh, this is going to be awkward for my love life. But it is Vion. We will be having him come in for the interview. He moved in. Oh, hello.
Hello, guys.
Hello. Well, this is
congratulations, Vion. What a game!
Thank you.
Yeah, what a game, I have to say. I mean, just coming off the back of this absolute monstrosity of team fights happening all over the map, how does it feel to take the win when it was so back and forth?
It always feels good that my team is the underdog team, so it's nice to win always.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that, and I can't be more happy about the gameplay. Like, I didn't expect this top gap though.
Vion, I'm telling you, almost whenever I pick against Runtime in any of my predictions, you win the game. How does that happen?
I think they also underestimated us a bit, and their draft was not good. If I can talk about draft, you pick Twitch blind and you ban Saver, it's absolutely wasted ban. Number one, you just we ban a lot of top champs. They also play the Karma top, so we ban 3 top laners basically, and 1 in the second rotation, and you ban 1 thing top only. So and we had counter pick top, so that was winning already. I think mid Luna played better in lane, so I had all the agency in the world with my champion. And I think also like their sport vision game was not as good this game. Like in the other game he played, it was way better, but I guess it's the game.
Yeah, and you mentioned your kind of role in the team now. I think a lot of people will have identified you are not the main team's jungler, but we said on the cast you've been putting in some stellar performances in the off role. Probably one of the stronger off role players that we've seen having to fill in for their team. But what's it been like being the jungler for the team?
I think our jungle is really OP role, so no, I'm joking, of course, but yeah, the jungle is really broken, especially if I get, like, I'm used to fight continuous, like, I play support, just Nautilus and shit stuff, so when I get a champ like Trundle, I like to beat people, like, it's kinda easy.
Nice, yeah, very
yeah,
good.
And also I think, I don't know, like, I feel like I just been everywhere because the vision was not that good, and I think my support did an amazing job, like, He made me do a lot of plays, and in team fight, I can say like the Renata Samira like didn't make the Renata impactful at all. Like her ult was basically useless. And I think the fact that their set was so behind, he was a minion basically, helped a lot. And my top laner was fucking one-shotting everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Aatrox, I guess. 2 games in a row he plays Aatrox. Maybe they will pay some respect once.
Very true. Yep. Mikis, do you have any questions for Vion?
Questions for Vion. Tell me, what were the comms ending the game? Like they went for flash ult for the Braum, right? I think it was flash ult with Azir. They went for the quick play because most likely they thought that they are limited
they
on time.
thought like in the 5v5 we don't win, so we need to hard force, maybe get a Braum pick here, but like it's a Braum man. He has flash and W still, so he gets out and you waste the tools.
But what were the comms around the backdoor?
Yeah, it was super fun because I looked at the map and said, wait, we have a ward inside their base, like this is game. They either play for Elder or for base, so can't win for sure. And I think the Braum stopped the set like at the last millisecond, so that's also a bit lucky and really good. Yeah, and there was another fun moment in the middle of the game when we paused. My DC said, I go 1 sec to fix my internet, and no one heard that, and we restarted and he died. That was another fun thing. But yeah, happens.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, I feel it's like miscommunication, but like we did hear it. So if you want to ask me something now, I mean, I just want to play next teams. Like I guess I want to play Reef maybe if I get a lucky draw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was going to be my next question, but I guess you answered it. Runtime against Reef would be fantastic.
Yeah, I also want to play CCG Raw, even if they lost today. Like I feel they're a good team, but the thing is, we did shit in the semifinals in Cobalt and we lost, so we can't play finals against CCG Raw. But I really wanted to play against them.
Yeah. Well, fantastic to hear. Does anyone from the analyst desk want to ask Fion questions?
Not for me.
No? All right. Well, congratulations on your fantastic win. Please let your team know that they did amazing, all of them. And yeah, good luck in next round.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. So now we will be throwing over back to the analyst desk, I believe, just to close out the day.
Yes, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back again. Banger of game, more one-sided than expected.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it's good to have it crazy. Like the underdog wins, I love it. Sadly today, no prediction elo gained by anyone because I didn't have time to put it on. But I hope that's fine. What do you think is the best moment from this game we just saw?
The drawn out top fight that took like 3 minutes. I feel like it was like no one backing off, fighting. Backdoor also always fun to see backdoor. It was not a hypey backdoor because they were on the track to win the game anyway, but still props to the top laner from Runtime. Very good game. That top def was very noticeable.
Yeah, true. People are asking for an MVP vote, but I think if you want to vote for an MVP, just say the name in chat and we will check. Because I am too
I
tired.
think we know who it is. I think we know who our MVP is. Good game. I heard they want to play us next. This Vion said it. Will be fun. And I think it will be fun matchup. We have the top lane MVPs in back-to-back games. You know, Konazi versus Astra. That would be a fun matchup.
Yeah, exactly. But let me tell you something about tomorrow. Tomorrow we have another stream. 9:30 in the evening CEST. Dream Team versus Altera Astaroth.
They're both losers, right? Tomorrow from they're both 0-1.
No, not Altera Astaroth.
They got unlucky draw from Dream Team.
It is Altera Excelsior. Sorry.
Okay. On the hype matchup then.
Hype matchup. But problem, I won't be there tomorrow, so I need someone to cover the stream for me. So I hope I can find someone to stream for me, and then we will be there 9:30 tomorrow.
Yes, see you there, guys.
See you there.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.